Hey folks, this is Vincent Natalie with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're gonna play Star Trek Chrono Trek. This game supports 2 to 6 players, it's for ages 11 and up, and the average play time is 15 to 45 minutes. This will be our first time playing this. We might get a rule wrong or two, but as I always say, we are here to spread awareness, and if you like what you see, and I've helped you buy this game, by, showing you what it's like, then hey, I've accomplished my goal. Here's a quick look at the box insert. It's just spaces for 2 card decks, really. Off to the left-hand side that you cannot see, there are a bunch of characters, and each player in the beginning of the game will get 1 random face-down character. Now, there are different difficulties of characters. These are 2 pips here, like Admiral Layton, for example, Tashi Yar, younger Janeway, Khan Noonien Singh, and then you get into the 3-pip higher difficulty cards. There's older Janeway, there's Worf, Quark, Guinan, and so on. And then eventually, 4 pips, you get to Evil Mr. Spock, the Founders, Emperor Core, and so on. It's recommended that you pick the 1 or 2 pip cards when you start. These are the 1 pip cards. I'm not going to show you these because you're supposed to shuffle these up and give these identities out at random. By revealing these, I would be clued in as to what she needs. I don't have the cards memorized by any means, but you're supposed to keep these hidden. But these are all of the 1 pip cards, and I shuffled those up and dealt 1 for each of us. So long story short, each player will get a face-down card, and I will show you mine just so you can see what I am dealing with. Each card has requirements on them in order to win the game. Now, these first 2 affect the timeline, which I'll show you in a minute, and the other one is an artifact that can be drawn from this deck. I believe all of the 1 and 2 pip cards, characters have the same requirement. 2 timeline changes and an artifact in green. For example, Arn Darvin here, who we know is a Klingon spy. The Tribbles is the artifact that he needs, apparently, even though he hates them. The Holographic Doctor needs the mobile emitter, and those 2 timeline changes in order to succeed and win the game. So each player is going to get 1 at random. You also start with 3 cards from the main deck over here. However, that's only if you're playing the same difficulty of characters. So if I'm 1 pip and she's 1 pip, then we each start with 3. However, if we start with different difficulties, let's say that she's a 3-pip and I'm a 2-pip, she would start with 3 cards and I would start with 2 cards to make up for the fact that she's playing a harder character. How you do that is you draw 3 cards and then you either discard or you draw more. So if I was a 4-pip character, so if I was Q, for example, and that was my hidden identity, I would announce how many pips I was, and I would say 4. I would get my standard 3 cards, and then I would draw 1 more from the deck to get 4 cards because my character is a 4-pip character. There's also some of these fracture cards. These are more guide. These are guide cards to help players understand fractures that will come up in this main deck over here, and we'll get to them later, but there are some guides here for fractures. The rulebook is just a fold-out here like so. It's pretty self-explanatory, but it gets some getting used to wrapping your head around the timeline and how it all works. Speaking of the timeline, as you can see, there are 4 rows, and on the bottom left-hand corner of each card is a coordinate, A1, and then you've got A2, A3, A4, A5, and so on. They're even numbered chronologically on the very top right by year, 3.5 billion years ago. And then the next one is 1930, Edith Keeler killed by car. These cards have 2 sides to them. This is the standard side. The timeline is intact right now. But throughout the game, we're going to be playing cards that allow us to flip these linchpin cards. These linchpins will, whenever they are flipped, affect other cards on the timeline. So, if I play a card that flips this linchpin over, Edith Keeler almost dies. In the original episode, Edith Keeler was supposed to be killed by a car, but McCoy saved her. And this is the alternate timeline. Now, this will affect A3, A5, and B5. So, by extension, we would flip A3 and A5 and B5 to their alternate sides to show that this one event changed history on those other 3 events throughout time. The purple cards are linchpins. Those are the ones that we change. The light blue cards are called ripple points. These are the ones that get changed whenever a linchpin. These are what gets affected by a linchpin flipping over. So you can actually see, like, Allied forces win Earth's World War II. Yay! But if this were flipped over to the reverse side, Nazi forces win Earth's World War II. Uh-oh. And this actually tells you how this ripple event would get flipped over. In 1930, if this card were to be flipped over, this card gets flipped over to its reverse side. So long story short, these purple linchpin cards can be changed, and that in turn will affect the light blue cards that are out here, and that will change the timeline.
Now, how do you, you might have just explained it, but how do you turn it back if it's on
so
the reverse?
if you have to flip the linchpin back over to the reverse side.
Oh, so
once you fix the linchpin, the ripples also flip back over with it.
Oh, interesting.
That's what these little red and black icons mean on the bottom of these cards. Flips if red truck. Okay? So if we flip this linchpin, that shows a red truck.
I see. And then that one flips over?
Right, correct. Because now that flips over.
Oh, so
now,
flip if black
flip if black truck. So if we flip this and fix it, this is now a black truck, so now that flips back to the regular side as well. So we've restored history.
That's going to be confusing.
That's the main learning curve of this game, is understanding how all of this works. And being my first game, I may not fully understand it either. The other card not mentioned, again, we've got the purple and the light blue. There are dark blue anchor points. This is in reference to Journey's End, I think it was. No. Dang. The last episode of Star Trek, The Next Generation, all good things. All good things must come to an end. Yes, anyway. So I got so mad at myself there for a minute. I can't believe it. I'm a huge Trekkie. Anyway. So, as you know, there's an anti-time anomaly on the very last episode of Star Trek, The Next Generation. All good things, part 1 and 2. Whenever you have to flip one of these over, it starts there. And then when you have to flip another one, the next one, and then the next one, and the next one, and the next one. If all 5 are flipped, that will essentially end the game. Because the last one, life doesn't find a way. Chemicals in a puddle of goo fail to react to form life. So that pretty much just wipes everybody out and game over.
How do you flip them back?
I'm sure there are cards in the deck that I've not seen yet allow you to do that.
Okay.
So I don't know that for sure, but that's what I'm assuming. This will be our first time. So long story short, this is a timer of sorts. This ends in flipping all 5 of these ends badly for everyone, unless you're Q. Q actually wants that. On his card, life doesn't find a way. Devron anomaly extends all the way to Earth. Kind of weird because Q actually helped Picard in that episode, but anyway, he wouldn't admit it until the end. Anyway, so Q actually wants that to happen. And there's even a card in this deck that lets you become a Q to help you do that if you want. So that's it. Now, there are a number of cards in this deck that, as they come up, we'll have to explain them, unless I go through them now. But essentially, there's going to be... Actually, the rulebook may actually have a list of them. So let's open this up and... Yeah, well, yeah, we've seen the artifacts. In the yellow inverter cards allow us to change the linchpins. Actions just allow us to do something. Power actions allow us to do even more powerful some things, but they have restrictions associated with them. Fractures will damage the timeline. If the condition is met, you play a fracture card. You're going to place it over top of the year it says, and you cannot win the game if you have something after it that needs to be done. So, for example, Arn Darvin wants 2289 to be on its reverse side, which is here, Tribble Wormhole Annihilated. He wants that to be on the reverse side. Whether it's on this side or this side, if there was a fracture any time in history before it, it wouldn't matter. He couldn't win the game until he got rid of that fracture.
Oh, so on any... I thought it had to be on the card.
No, anything... I'm sorry, anything after a fracture cannot win you the game.
Oh, but before...
Before is fine, because at that point the time is fine.
So you can still win a game.
You can still win it. Okay, so here's another example. Let's say the fracture was here, and you had 2 cards that needed adjusted back here. You can still win the game. Because the fracture would only affect things going forward, not going backward.
Okay.
All right? So fractures only affect things going forward. Fractures are an even worse way to mess up the time. Yes, you're messing up the timeline by flipping these cards, but fractures completely wreck things to where the future is. It's like Back to the Future Part 2, Marty and Doc go back to what they think is 1985, and Biff owns the town now. That's kind of a fracture point.
It just negates your win, even if you're still eligible.
Correct. If you've satisfied every condition on your card, and there's a fracture, and you've got stuff after the fracture, you have to fix that fracture before you can win.
Okay.
All right. What else we got? Yeah, artifacts. We've already explained where artifacts are played in front of you. They will help you complete mission cards that are in here, which just allow you to draw more cards. Assignments, as they're called. They're called assignments. Events must be played immediately. Pre-game events, yeah, they are discarded without effect. I don't think... do you have any event cards in your hand?
I don't know.
Okay. They would be black.
No.
Okay, no. Okay, then you're fine. Okay, so I think that's the game. Would you like to go first?
No.
Yes, you would.
Fine,
you told it. So on a turn, you're going to draw a card and play a card. That's all you're going to do. In lieu of playing a card, you can draw another card. So it's either draw a card, play a card, or draw 2 cards.
I would draw a card.
You're going to draw a card.
Wait, what was the actions? Draw a card, play
draw a card, then play a card, or just draw 2 cards.
Draw 2 cards.
Well, look at what you got, and then you can decide if you want to play one or draw.
Oh, it's an event. Play immediately and redraw.
Okay, so that means you can redraw. Okay, so flip any 2 linchpins to the red side. So go ahead and pick any 2 purple cards and put them on, any linchpin, any purple card, 2 of them to their red side.
Oh, jeez.
So we'll take them one at a time. So the first one you want... preferably ones that coincide with what your character needs. Spock dies as a child. Oh boy. So this is probably the... Spock survives the Kazwan ordeal. Oh, that was from the animated series. That's actually kind of cool. Yeah, Cousin Selleck, even though not listed on here, saves Spock's life during the challenge. Yep, okay. Ichaya. Yes, the animated series is in here. Okay, anyway. So that flips B8. So B8 is, yes, Doomsday Machine destroyed. I guess Spock had a role in destroying the Doomsday Machine. And now that Spock died as a child, the Doomsday Machine destroys Rigel instead of being destroyed by Kirk and the Enterprise. So, countless lives are lost as the Planet Killer continues its rampage unabated. So, there you go.
Is there anything else with this symbol?
No, it just says B8.
Oh, okay.
This symbol is represented, like, you'll know. Just look at the numbers.
Oh, I see. So this one, and then the event says I can do 2 cards, right?
Yeah, 2 cards, yeah.
So B1, B4, and B5.
First, Warp Flight. That was Zephyrin Cochrane, probably. Yeah, Zephyrin Cochrane converted missile becomes first. So that one's B1, B4, and B5. Yeah. So, Earth's first contact with Vulcans, Xindi War continues, and Confederacy of Star Allies founded. Okay. So you've really started changing history already, and it's only the first turn of the game. Good job on that. Thanks. You get to draw another card, yes. Right?
So, okay.
Now you have a choice. You can either play a card or draw another one. And there is no hand limit.
I will... Is that a discard?
That is a discard, yes.
That's the discard pile?
Yes.
Oh, I see. Okay. I'm going to draw another card.
All right. So that would end your turn.
Okay.
And now to start my turn, I will draw a card. And let's take a reminder of what I need here. Okay. So I want that one to stay the same because it's in blue. I want that one to flip. And I need that artifact in front of me. It's kind of like Flux, if you've played Flux. Okay, so these are the cards I have. These I can play in front of me. If I can always do the first step of this, but if I have both of these artifacts in front of me, I can also do step 2. Otherwise, I can just discard this, draw 2 cards, and that's that. Let's see. Look through the draw pawn and play immediately. I just did it. I like that. Draw 2 cards.
How do you play an artifact? You just play it into your tableau?
Yes, you just play it in front of you. I might keep that. Wow. Okay, well, so I really like these cards, but they're not really helping me right now. I have no idea when I'm going to get these 2 artifacts. So I'm just going to play this one, which is an assignment. It's Mementos of the Captain. So I'm going to first draw 2 cards, and if I have both artifacts down here, I can draw 5 more, but I don't have those in front of me, so I'm just going to draw 2 cards. So I'm going to discard that. I'm just going to play it, and then I'm going to draw 2 cards. So 1, 2, and I believe my turn is over at that point.
All right.
So I have an artifact now, but it's not any of the ones that I'm looking for.
I'm going to draw 2 cards.
Well,
I guess I'll draw 1.
Draw 1, see what you want to do, and then you can draw a second one if you want.
I'll draw... yeah, I'll draw another one.
Okay. There you go. All right, so I will start my turn by drawing a card. To cancel. That could be useful. And for my action... All right. I'll do... I'm curious. I'm going to go ahead and do this one. I'm going to play Mind Meld. Look at the cards in another player's hand. Take the card of your choice and play it. Meanwhile, that player gets to see your hand of cards. So, Mind Meld. So you get to look at my hand, but I want to see one, and I want to see your hand, and I want to play one. All right. Look at that. Janeway's favorite cup of coffee. Vent the Warp Core. Discontinuity. Players pass their hands to the next player. Oof. Get there first. Steal any artifact another player has in play and put it in front of you. Someone's been waiting for that one. Now I know not to put those down anytime soon. I don't know what character you are, though. Inverter. Okay, so I'm going to play this one. Transporter malfunction. Flip any linchpin. So here's your hand back. And that's my hand back. Now I know you can steal my artifacts. I don't like that at all. So I'm going to play this and flip any linchpin.
Inverter.
So let's see. I want that one. So let's see. Which one was that? All right. Yeah, there we go. So it's this one. I'm flipping the Battle of Wolf 359. I will flip that over, and that's Ripple Point. So what affects that one?
It's the heart.
I can first contact with the board. So I could flip. Yeah, all right. First contact with the board is Borg is fine. Q sends the Enterprise D to the uncharted space. That was Q2, I believe. Borg remains unaware of humanity, and that will change D1. So I will flip D1 over to this side. Riker takes command of the Melbourne, which was sadly lost in the Battle of Wolf 359. Shelby becomes first officer of the Enterprise D. Dang, you are ambitious, Shelby.
I'll draw 2 cards. Oh, one first.
One first. Yes.
It's a fracture. Do I have to play them like as soon as possible?
No, that is something that you play if you want to, assuming you've got the the requirement on the card correct.
I see. Okay. Okay.
So it's supposed to there, yeah, it's supposed to be like that.
I see. Okay. So the only way to get rid of a fracture, or to win is if the fracture is not before you're winning.
Correct. Yes, so if you put the fracture here, then you have to clear it before, if you have any of these cards.
So both of us would have to clear it.
Yes, that would
prolong. But if I put it here, we could still both win.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Unless someone needed that card for some reason, but
yeah. I need to write that down. Okay, give me a second one.
Okay.
Oh, another event.
All right. Deveron anomaly expands. Flip the latest anchor point to the reverse side. Something is going on in the Deveron system.
So this one?
Yes, so you flip that over. Okay. Anti-time eruption at the Deveron system. All right, well, that's all there is to that. You get to flip another card, though, because you just drew this.
Yeah.
Whenever you draw an event, you always replace it, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. All right. That's it.
This deck is quite big, so finding what you need is going to be tough.
It's going to be tough.
I'm going to draw a card. Oh. But she's got that stupid card. Interesting. Okay.
I feel like we're so hoarding cards just in case.
Well, yeah, because I don't know what you're going to do, and I'm a little concerned. Other than just reshuffle it. Okay, I'm going to... I kind of want to do this one. Okay. Okay, actually, yeah. I am going to play Quick Trip into the Future. Look through the draw pile and choose a card other than a power action, and play it immediately or just add it to your hand. Reshuffle the deck after choosing, but don't mix in the discard pile. So I'm going to play that. I'm going to look through the draw deck, and I get to take anything. Yeah, I know.
That's good.
I'm looking for something in particular. Now everyone can kind of see what's in the deck while I'm doing this. And I will hopefully have to reshuffle these. Where is it? I missed it somewhere. There's one card I'm looking for in particular. One moment, folks. I am going to off-camera do this because I can't hold this up and do this at the same time. Okay. I'm going to take that one. And it says to reshuffle. So here, you do it.
When you play, so how many cards can you play in front of you? Just one?
One. Mm-hmm. Okay. You draw a card, play a card.
All right.
Good enough?
So how do you win?
How do you win?
Yeah.
You satisfy all 3 objectives on your card.
But they have to be played in front of you?
The artifacts do.
So
the timeline has to... So in the case of the holographic doctor...
Yeah, the timeline has to be...
He wants 2289 flipped over. He wants 2394 to be the same, the original timeline. And he needs a mobile emitter in front of him. If all 3 things are done on your turn, then you win.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
So, it just said for me to add it to my hand. Yeah, so I added it to my hand, and it is now your turn.
Okay. I'm going to... Oh, okay, I see. Darn. All right. I'm going to draw a card and then play a card. Or draw a card and see what the heck it is. Interesting. I will play this one.
Orders from the future. This is draw 2 cards, add them to your hand, then play 1 card. Draw 2 additional cards if the card you play is a fracture. Wow, okay. Draw 2 cards, then add them to your hand. So we'll start with that. So
that's
one,
like 3 cards in total, right? Sort of.
Well,
hopefully I played it right.
Well, yeah, you drew a card, then you played a card, and it says draw 2 cards.
Another event.
You got another event. All right. Fractures happen. Here's your second card that you needed, that you were owed. All players must reveal all fracture cards they are holding.
Well, no, I'm not owed this because I draw a card and then play that card.
Okay. This says draw 2 cards, add them to your hand, then play 1 card. I gave you one, and I gave you a second one, but that second one was an event.
Oh, I see.
So I'm giving you that second card
I
that
see.
you were owed from the top half of this Orders from the Future.
Okay, so I could still play a card because that's just an event.
Well, we have to do the event first.
Yes, and then I can play the card.
Correct.
Yeah, okay, I see.
Any that can... Fracture cards are... Okay. All players must reveal all fracture cards they are holding. Any that can be played must be played immediately. All others are to be discarded. All players then draw cards to replace the cards they had. So in that case, you have to reveal your fracture.
Okay.
And this is The Stars Go to War, which is on 2161. Playable only if... Did you satisfy these two?
I don't believe so, but you can double check.
Okay, so 1930 is fine. 2024 is... Okay. That's fine. 2063A
not fine.
Is not... So you're good there. 2153 is... Okay, so you needed 2 or more red icons, and there's 3 black showing and 1 red. So you could not play this. This has to be discarded.
Yep.
Okay. And you get to draw cards to replace what you missed. Did I give you a card to replace that fracture that you just played?
Yes, I believe so.
You sure?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I know I gave you a second one for the card draw, but I don't remember if I gave you one for... I'll just give you another one.
No, it's fine. I think you did give me a... It's fine. Whatever.
Here, just take one.
No, it's fine. All right.
So, unfortunately, like... This says, the bottom half of this card says, draw 2 additional cards if the card you play is a fracture.
But it wasn't really played. It was forced.
Right, forced. So you get to play 1 card per the card you played. Yeah. So if you play a fracture, you draw more cards, which you don't have because you were forced to discard them. So you get to play 1 card, basically.
What's a Oh, so if I do... Okay. Okay. That's so weird, because, like, this... Okay, I have a question. This assignment, if you play this card, right, an assignment card, you still get to draw 2 cards, right? Yes,
assignment's correct. So if you play the assignment, you first draw 2 cards, and then if you have both the humpback whales and the tribbles, then you get to do more stuff.
Yeah.
But if you just want to play this to get 2 cards, you can. Because the top half you can always do.
But that's kind of silly because you can always draw 2 cards, can't you?
Yeah, but if you don't think you're ever going to get humpback whales or tribbles in your hand, you might as well just draw 2 cards rather than just...
Why would you want to play this anyways to draw 2 cards? That's what I'm confused about.
I don't know. Well, no, because you draw 1 at the beginning of your turn.
Yeah.
That lets you draw 2 more, so you're getting 3 instead of 2 for that turn.
Oh, so
you're getting
drawing 1, you play this, and then you draw 2 more.
Yes.
I see.
So instead of drawing 1 and then drawing an additional 1, which is only 2, you draw 1, play that, draw 2 more, that's 3 instead.
Okay, I see. So can I play this
then
and draw 2 cards?
Yes. Yeah, you don't have humpback whales or tribbles in your play area.
No.
So you're just going to draw 2 cards from the deck.
So, okay, so that gets discarded?
Yes.
Okay, I see.
You play the assignment and it's over.
Okay, cool. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so first I'm going to draw a card. Okay. Let's go with, okay. So I am going to play an artifact.
Okay.
Tea Earl Grey Hot. Straight from the Captain Picard's food replicator.
Nice.
And, let's see. Okay. Alright. I think I can win. I think I've won unless you can play a card to stop me.
Can I steal the artifact?
Steal any artifact another player has in play and put it in front of you. Does it say, like... Is there, like, an interrupt on that?
I don't know. It just says steal any artifact.
Do you have anything else besides that? that would stop me?
I could just flip.
Well, no, no, it has to be, okay, yeah, I think it's this card, Memo from Your Future Self.
Oh,
So
wow.
this card is play at any time to cancel another card as it is being played. I was waiting for you to play something like this to then cancel out your attempt to cancel me.
Oh, so that goes on any card, huh?
Yeah, any card being played. So I was waiting for you to play something to stop this, and then I would play that to stop you.
Okay.
But if you can't do anything about it, then I've won.
Yeah, I think so.
So Jean-Luc Picard needed... Picard takes command, 2364A. It's on the right side. 2366, Riker takes command of the Melbourne. And T, Earl Grey Hot, which I've simply put in front of me.
Yeah, all I needed was the
artifact?
Spock, yeah, and I just couldn't find it.
Oh, you were Spock.
And
you needed a tricorder.
That looked through the draw pile. I just picked this up, and I probably would have tried to find the tricorder.
Yeah, well, I was going to use that card on you if you were going to win first.
Ah, I see.
So that's why I was waiting.
I probably should have flipped over one of your stuff first then. That's interesting.
Maybe. So, yeah, other artifacts I had, Humpback Whales, Guardian of Forever, Phaser, but I was tempted to play one of these first so you would steal it, and then I would play that. But I was trying to, pull a fast one. But yeah, that is Chrono Trek. We played with the easiest characters. Down the line, like I said, there's going to be even tougher ones if you want to play. As the Romulans, you need 3 fractures out on the board. Atomic Wars scorch the Earth, Doomsday Machine destroys the Earth, Whale Ship blasts Earth, and then a Romulan Ale. It's or. So it's one of these 3 fractures and that artifact. The Borg want one of these 2 fractures, and then Voyager returns after 23 years, which is this one down here.
That fracture that I had, I was hoping this would get flipped. I was thinking about actually flipping it so that I can actually play the fracture.
What was the
here.
Okay, I see.
So
that would have stopped me from doing anything.
And then, that would have made me, give me time to find the stupid tricorder. But, yeah.
So what did you think of this? Was it okay? Was it...
Not gonna lie, I actually hated this.
Really? Why did you...
I thought I was gonna like it, but I would rather play Flux.
Really? Was it just... Was it the time thing? Or...
It was just too quick. It was weird. It was like...
Well, we did play with the easiest characters,
so... we did 3 actions, and when you flip something over, you kind of sort of know, what the person is gonna aim for.
Unless you flip over something and bluff.
But even with bluffing, if you have that look through that draw pile and then you get your artifact, it doesn't matter. That
is one thing I don't like, is that there's a lot of RNG in this, in the sense that if you get the right card to get there's one T Earl Grey Hot card in this entire deck. If you don't have something to find it, and maybe it's in the other player's hand something, good luck.
Oh, there's only one artifact each?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
That's what I mean. That is a huge problem. I mean, how in the world... There's one spot, there's one... That's one thing I don't like, is the amount of RNG in this game.
I would not play it again. Not... With only one artifact and how big that deck is, I probably wouldn't play again.
Now, granted, there may be some cards that allow you to go through... There are cards that allow you to go to the discard and draw pile. But what if your opponent knows what you need and holds on to it? You'd have to wait for a card to get something from them. Yeah. That's like the one I played on you.
Or this discontinuity where all players have to pass their hand to the left or to the right.
As a casual game, it's not bad. I'm hoping for something a bit... I love the idea of flipping... linchpins and then affecting ripple points. I love Star Trek time travel episodes. I really do. It's just with this one, I felt like this. I don't know. It's very thematic. I love the attention to detail with all the different ways the Star Trek universe has episodes where they travel through time. They've captured Edith Keeler, animated series, the Cardassians with the Bajor occupation. Dominion War. This is a nice, cool timeline. Kobayashi Maru. I love that. As a Trekker, I'm like, this really hits with me. My only complaint really is just the randomness of the cards. But if you've played Flux,
Flux was so much better.
Flux had that same RNG though. But the nice thing about Flux was that the rules were constantly changing. Whereas with this, what I would do, maybe deal 3 characters to each player, and you have to satisfy maybe 2 of the 3 in order to win. Something like that, maybe.
I like the flipping. I think the flipping is really fun. I hate though that some cards only have 1 flip, and I think that put a bad taste in my mouth. I like these cards that have more than 1 flip, just so it could throw other players off.
As to what you needed?
Yeah, so, I don't know. I'll be honest, completely blunt, this put a bad taste in my mouth. Just because of, like, 1 artifact in the deck each. The fact that there's only 1. It's just, I don't know.
Okay, fair enough.
I love the theme. I love Star Trek.
Me too. You know? Yeah, I was more impressed by the theme than I was the actual gameplay, to be honest. I love the idea of a timeline and all that jazz, but like trying to find that 1 card to complete your character. Again, I feel like maybe 2 or 3 characters. That way, if you can't get the 1 card you need, you know, maybe you can work on the other cards and try and get them done. I would do something like that.
Yeah. I would love to see how different the game would be played as.
With a 4.
With taking out all these power actions.
That would be awful.
These are too powerful, I think. Like, all of them.
Well, they have to be in order to find that 1 artifact that's somewhere in the deck.
Oh, I know.
You know what I mean? So it has to balance out. That's what they're there to... You know what I mean?
That's why I really don't like that there's only 1 artifact. That's awful. I think that's awful.
I wish the artifacts did more. Like, the Guardian of Forever counts as a converter. But the whales, the T, the phaser, it doesn't do anything else aside sit there in front of you. It will help you complete assignments, right? But that's it.
The game didn't go on for too long.
Right, we didn't see... we only saw like an 1/8 or a 1/10 of the deck. Like there's so much more in here.
Like you can't complete assignment. Why would you ever want to complete an assignment anyways if it's asking for your own artifact? You know, that's why I feel like there needs to
You don't discard them. You just have them in front of you.
In front of you?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So you wouldn't discard artifacts to play this assignment. You just simply have it in front of you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I understand what you're saying. I can see why you wouldn't like it. I love the idea of the fractures completely screwing up the timeline. I feel like they tried to create a time travel game, Star Trek themed, but make it accessible in a 15-minute game. And because of that speedy arrangement, that goal, some areas fell short because in order to make it quick, you have to, you know, I don't know. I feel like there's certain things missing from this that could make it a lot better than what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. Well, that's fair enough. Star Trek, Chrono Trek. I liked it to some degree. She did not.
No.
If you guys haven't already, subscribe to me on Twitch and YouTube. That way you can stay up to date with any new content I happen to publish. This is Vincent Adeli. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Needs more dice. Bye, guys.
Wow.